Well, hello again, VAPsketeers. VAP-Chan here.
And I'm Maureen Morrison.
And we're going to bring you yet another episode of VAP's Puppets.
For the VAP-Chan program. VAP, why haven't you, updated the title card?
Oh, excellent question, Maureen. And the answer is, because I'm really lazy. Anyway, did you have a good Christmas?
I sure did, Vappy. In fact, Santa brought me that nice guillotine I asked for.
Oh, good. Just, don't accidentally kill anybody with it,
I won't. The blade's kinda dull. I think Santa might have been worried I might have been gonna kill somebody with it. I wasn't going to, though.
That's good, Maureen. It's good to know you. It's good to know you aren't some kind of psychopath.
Vappy, just because I'm the one who's really into monsters and gore doesn't mean I'm a psychopath.
I know, but some people might think that.
Well, how'd your Christmas go, Vappy?
It was kind of mixed.
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is, every Christmas kinda goes wrong in some way. There's always some kind of fight on Christmas. I think that's just kinda how it is, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell all the VAPsketeers what happened. But that's only because this has a happy ending. If this didn't have a happy ending, I would just not talk about it. But it's got a happy ending, and I think we can kind of learn something about friendship from it. You see, this Christmas, I bought one of my closest friends. I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to embarrass them, but I got them a present they had wanted literally since they were a little kid. They had wanted this thing for about 20 years.
What kind of thing was it, Vappy?
I don't want to go too far into specifics because I don't want to, embarrass the person, because I'm so close to them. It was this toy from the early 2000s, this little electronic thing. The fact that it's electronic and from the early 2000s kind of comes into play because, you see, I ordered this thing for them as their Christmas present, and I had it shipped to their house. What I didn't realize is the person who sent it to them didn't put in enough packing material.
And it got there broken?
It got there broken. According to my friend, the outer box was even damaged when it got there.
Wow, the Postal Service sounds kinda incompetent.
That's because they are. But anyway, this thing I got my friend, you actually don't see a lot of them in working condition now. It's a very fragile toy. Even back then, when it was originally made in the early 2000s, it was kind of a fragile toy. And so with how, beaten up it got in shipping, my friend stayed up until midnight. So it would be technically Christmas, but they could open it as soon as possible. When they realized it was broken, they spent the next several hours just completely ripping into me like it was my fault. I didn't get any sleep that night.
Vappy, I thought you said this had a happy ending.
Well, it does, because the next day, I finally worked up the courage to tell my friend that them just tearing into me over something I didn't even have any control over. Because, how could I have known that was going to happen? Well, I could have guessed that it was going to happen because I did know that this was kind of a fragile toy. And I did know that the Postal Service is, kind of incompetent when it comes to protecting the things they're shipping. But I wrongly assumed that the, seller was going to be, more careful and include more packing materials. But, I worked up the courage to tell my friend that them, ripping into me and bawling me out over something I had very little control over really bothered me and, really damaged me. And that it's something that I can't really heal from. I can forgive them for it, and I already have, because they're my friend. And, friends have to forgive each other and they have to protect each other. But I can never heal from that. I wouldn't want to heal from something like that, because it would mean forgetting everything that I've learned.
Vappy, I thought you said this had a happy ending.
Well, it does, because my friend and I forgave each other, and we both learned important lessons about what we should do to not piss each other off, and what we should do to help each other, and, to better look out for each other. Because, a lot of people would say I shouldn't do this. A lot of people would say that this is rewarding bad behavior, but after my friend and I talked about, how badly them freaking out at me hurt me, and, we forgave each other, I did buy them a replacement of that thing, and this time I'm going to have it shipped directly to my house so that I can make sure it's in working condition when it gets to me, and then ship it to my friend in, better packaging material, and with a few little extra presents as well, because not just this particular friend, but a lot of my friends haven't had very good lives. A lot of my friends had really shitty, really abusive childhoods. And that's kind of why I have to look out for them,
Uh-huh.
A lot of my friends, they're kind of like me in some ways. A lot of my friends are really autistic like I am. Some of my friends are a little schizo like I am, and that's okay. It's okay to be autistic or schizo or anything, as long as you, try not to hurt people and try to look out for your friends.
Vappy?
Yeah?
Did you actually get anything for Christmas?
Oh, yeah. That same friend actually got me a really nice set of Doctor Who trading cards, specifically Magic the Gathering ones.
Oh, neat.
It is pretty neat. I like Doctor Who a lot, and I'm glad, that my friend who got those for me knows I like Doctor Who. But, they also, to kind of make up for, basically yelling at me for hours on Christmas, they're going to get me a puppet. I'm not going to say a puppet of what, because I kind of want to keep it a surprise for when it gets here and starts appearing in the videos, but they are buying me another puppet to use on this show, to make up for yelling at me.
Vappy?
What is it, Maureen?
Speaking of puppets, when are we gonna get to the puppets?
Oh, in a moment. I would like to say one more thing.
What's that?
Well, New Year was pretty good. It's always nice, when the New Year rolls around.
It sure is.
I think 2025 is gonna be a pretty good year. There are a lot of things that I want to do this year, both in real life and in Videoland. I want to do a lot of fun experimental things with the puppets. I don't want to spoil what those things are, but, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff for you guys to look forward to. And I'd also like to do some more things with animation.
You already are. This part's animated.
Maureen, you know what I mean. But, anyway, the Epiphany's about to come up. January 6th. That's the day that the three wise men finally found the baby Jesus.
Oh, that's really interesting, Vappy.
It sure is. I always kind of like the Epiphany. It's one of those holidays that not a lot of people really talk about, but it's, really important. Or at least I think it's important.
Anyway, I'm glad Christmas eventually ended up going right for you. And I'm glad you and whatever friend it was were able to forgive each other after the fight.
I am too.
But can we please get to the puppets?
Yeah. For our first puppet act, we've got Benito Bananas, the Italian monkey puppet, singing Largo Al Factotum from The Barber of Seville. Hit it, Benito. Wait, I just remembered. January 1st, New Year's Day, that was also Public Domain Day.
Oh, come on! Benito was just about to get to sing his song.
You'll get to sing it, Benito. Hold on a second. To make a long story short, Popeye is public domain now, and so is the Marx Brothers movie The Coconuts, and apparently the song Tiptoe Through the Tulips. So that's pretty cool.
Can I please do my song now?
Yeah, you can. Go on, Benito. Sing your opera song.
Thank you.
Largo al factotum della chitarra, largo. La 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 la. Presto la bottega che nel bagna presto. La 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 la. E fortunatissimo per verità. Fortunatissimo per verità. La 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 la. Pronto per tutto la notte e il giorno, tempo di giorno in glielo sta. Miglior compagna per un barbiere, vita più nobile più non si dà. La 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 la. Raccoglie pettini, lancia da forbigliaglio, comando tutto qui sta. Lancia da pettini, raccoglie forbigliaglio, comando tutto qui sta. Bella ricorda, poi dal mestiere, con la donnetta, col cavaliere, con la donnetta e tra la 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 la, col cavaliere tra la 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 la. Bravo bravissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo per verità. La 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 la. A te fortuna, non
now, Pongo the Clown and his famous weightlifting act.
A little help here? Come on.
Ah, that Pongo, what a moron. Anyway, hey Maureen.
Hi, Nobuko. Vappy and I were talking about her Christmas earlier. Did you have a good one?
Yeah, mine was great.
Did you get anything fun?
Yeah, I got some new clothes, I got a set of encyclopedias, and I got this cool model ray gun. It makes a noise like when you squeeze the trigger.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and that's not all. Vappy got me a really cool present.
Oh wow, what did she get you?
She got me an older sister.
Nobuko, you're gonna have to explain to me in great detail what exactly Vappy did.
Well, Maureen, you know how Vap's a cartoonist?
Yeah?
Well, you know how we're cartoons?
Yeah? Well, I mean, you're anime, but yeah?
Exactly. All Vappy has to do in order to make a new person in Videoland would be to draw them.
Yeah?
So, all she had to do to make me an older sister is draw her out. And then she's there like she always existed.
Oh, that's kind of existentially weird.
Well, you know, she did it to you too.
Yeah, I guess she did.
Exactly. But anyway, before we start going nuts thinking about how, we were all kind of just created by random people, yeah, my older sister. Her name's Tamako. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she looks really interesting. She looks kind of like you, but older.
Yep. Kinda trying to think of things to say here. I don't work very well without a script. Why's Vappy doing this stupid improvised thing? Can't you just write a script out like a normal person?
Nobuko! Vappy and normal are two words you probably shouldn't use in the same sentence.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Normies suck.
And how? But anyway, back to Tamako?
Yeah, Tamako.
Does Tamako watch this show? I mean, I know she's only existed for less than a week now, I guess. But has she seen Vap's puppets?
She sure has. She really likes them, especially the little minstrel puppet.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not as much as I like him, but she likes him quite a bit.
That's good. I like the little minstrel puppet, too.
I think everybody who isn't just a stupid asshole likes the little minstrel puppet.
You can say that again.
I think everybody who isn't just a stupid asshole likes the little minstrel puppet.
You can say that again.
I think everybody...
Enough already! Jesus!
Okay, shut up. Leave us alone, Rudolph. You dickhead.
Alright.
But anyway, Tamako does watch this show. And in fact, she's so impressed by the puppets.
Oh, in what way is she impressed by the puppets?
Their dancing ability, Vappy's skill in manipulating them. I mean, I know Vappy doesn't like when we suck up to her, but, she's good at what she does.
Yeah, you can say that again.
No!
Wait, where were we? Oh yeah, Tamako, the puppets. I'm bad at improvising. Why's Vap making us do this?
Oh, she likes it. She thinks it's fun.
More like she thinks it's less work for her to not write out a real script.
Jeez, Nobuko, you're going from sucking up to Vappy to just completely trashing her.
Yeah, it's fun. Vap's into that.
Yeah, I guess she sorta is. But anyway, could you tell me more about Tamako and the puppets?
Oh yeah. Tamako was telling me a little interesting story from puppet history.
What story's that?
You see, in 1969, when they were doing the Apollo 12 moon mission,
Oh, wow.
the cameras broke down, and at the last second, they had to bring Bil Baird, the famous puppeteer who did, Snarky Parker? Is that it, Vap?
Yeah, that's it. Snarky Parker, with the Hoagie Carmichael-looking puppet.
Yeah, Snarky Parker. Vap knows what I'm talking about.
Don't forget the Whistling Wizard, and that Peter and the Wolf thing.
Yeah, I won't forget them.
He did a Winnie the Pooh thing, too.
Yeah, Winnie the friggin' Pooh.
Anyway, Bil Baird, moon landing. The camera stopped working on the moon, but the audio track was still coming through, so at the last second, they brought Bil Baird into the studio, well, the news studio, with some puppets he already had of some astronauts, and they got him to mime to the audio track with his astronaut puppets. Pretty cool, huh?
Nobuko, you know, if somebody who was kinda stupid was just listening to this, that might sound like a conspiracy theory.
Oh, in what way? In what way does that sound like a conspiracy theory, Maureen?
Now, I'm not saying anything bad about conspiracy theorists. I like them. But a lot of people get really mad if you say anything that makes it sound like the moon landing might have been fake.
Why would it be a bad thing if it was faked? Wouldn't make it less cool, you know? And besides, we're all cartoon characters here. Well, except for VAP. She's an actual human person. But you and me and Holly and Lauren and that vampire guy you hang out with?
Your Fang! How'd you forget his name?
I don't know. I don't hang out with him that much. The raccoon Scotsman guy?
That's Graham. He's gonna be in more of those in the future.
Oh, good. I kinda liked him. I like how he always has booze with him.
Nobuko, that's kind of inappropriate. I know we're cartoon characters, but you're supposed to be like, what, 12?
The show I'm from, Limit-Chan, never actually that clear on how old we're all supposed to be. Either way, we're cartoon characters. I can drink all the booze I want.
No, you can't. Stay out of my liquor cabinet, Nobuko.
Alright, Vappy, I'll stay out of your damn liquor cabinet. Thanks for Tamako, by the way.
You're welcome.
Anyway, Tamako, I know you're watching this, and I know you like the little minstrel puppet so much. So here he is, miming to Will F. Denny's recording of Ain't Dat a Shame.
Bil Baird told his lady friend, our dream of love is past. He said no more, just slammed the door. He wandered round the town, but did not have a cent. He thought about his pork chops, then back to the house he went. Oh, listen to his moonful cry. Ain't that a shame, a measly shame, to keep your honey out in this rain? Lordy, have a little pity, will you open that door and let me in? I stand your prison wet to the skin. He stood there to do all night long. He cried, oh mama, will you let me in? I know that I've done wrong. I prove it, see. Please whisper to me. A bass voice from inside hollered from the door. Find some other hay pile, you don't roost down no more. And passers by could hear Bill cry. Ain't that a shame, a measly shame, to keep your honey out in this rain? Lordy, have a little pity, will you open that door and let me in? I'll stand your freezing wet to the skin. Open that door, honey, I'll bust it. Sure as you're born, I'll bust in.
hello again, VAPsketeers. VAP-Chan here once again. I'm gonna tell you a strange couple of stories from my childhood. They're related basically only in the fact that they happened so long ago, and they're so slightly wrong. Or in the case of the first one I'm going to tell you about, really, really wrong in retrospect, that they feel like dreams. And in the case of both of them, I'm not quite sure if they even actually happened or if they were just weird dreams. But the first one, when I was a kid in 2nd grade, for a very short time I was in Cub Scouts. You know, I'm trans, I was a guy back then, but I was in Cub Scouts, and the building our meetings took place in was this, I think it was some kind of abandoned restaurant. It had that, you know, small town independent restaurant building feel to it. If that makes sense, I hope it does. But anyway, it was in a fairly remote part of the town. You'd have to go down kind of the back roads, and there were people who lived along those roads, but there were kind of stretches where it was just forest or just fields. And then you'd reach this intersection, and there was I guess it wasn't technically abandoned because we were using it as the meeting place, and it was an official thing. But this building that used to be a restaurant, it was called something like Granny's Kitchen, and if I remember right, the sign for it was even still up. That's not the part that feels like a dream. The part that feels like a dream in my memories is, well, first of all, we had our meetings fairly late in the evening. Maybe it was just because it was fall and winter, but it was always, very dark out by the time they were over. So one evening, my dad has come to Granny's Kitchen to pick me up. We're driving home, and on the way, on the side of the road, is this guy. He has a single carnival ride that he's operating. It's not a full-on carnival. It's just one guy with one ride. And it's like these hanging, spinning cages. You know that carnival ride that's like the swings, and that it kind of raises up and spins you around? This was like that, except you were in cages. And me being, I think I was 7 or 8. I asked my dad if we could stop so I could ride the ride. That's not even the worst part. He agrees. He actually stops the car, pulls over on the side of the road, and pays the guy so I can ride his janky, creepy, middle-of-the-night carnival ride. Miraculously, I wasn't kidnapped and murdered. But yeah, that happened so long ago, and it's so weird. I'm actually not quite sure if it even happened or if it was just a dream I had. The next story is less disturbing, but it's still odd. When I was a kid, I always liked to just kind of wander around and explore. I still do. Back when I was a kid, they blamed it on ADHD. And, that might have been the case, but I think it was more just kids like to explore, and so do adults, if they aren't boring. But anyway, one day I was in school, I think this would have been when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and I had to go to the bathroom. So after I go, instead of going back to class, I just started kind of walking around the school and exploring places I had never been to in the building. And it was a pretty big building, or at least in my memories of being a kid it was. If I were to go back there for some reason now, I think everybody says this, but it would probably feel a lot smaller. But anyway, I was a kid walking around that building. I turn a corner, and on one of the walls is just this huge poster of this monster thing. It looked like a combination of Cubert and those 2-legged mount animals from the movie Wizards, if you've ever seen that. And I don't know what it was about this thing, but it just freaked me out, and I ended up running back to class. Oddly, I don't think I got in trouble. I must not have been gone for that long. wrong. Either that, or like I keep saying, it was just a weird dream I had that was just realistic enough that at this point I can't remember if it was a dream or if it actually happened. I know some of you are thinking, VAP sure does sound schizo talking about not being able to tell dreams from reality. Well, I mean, I am schizo. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as, I'm not hurting anybody. A lot of schizophrenics are great people. But anyway, I'd like to show you some art that I've done. Some art that I can actually show on YouTube without getting kicked out. And then, I think Benito Bananas has another song he'd like to sing for us. So look forward to that. On to the art!
When I saw that steamboat leave, waste a month of time when I grieve. Steamboat seem no go to Italy, she waste a while. Cause last night I saw my Mariutch at Corleone. Don't you tell nobody what I tell you. What do you think my Mariutch do? Mariutch make the hooch, make hooch down the corner. Make me smile. She go like this, like that, like this. She make it such a dance, never move her feet. Like a funny style. Someone yell like that. Hey, look out, you're breaking your back. When I marry you, make the hooch, make hooch. Marry you, she make it the hooch, make hooch down the corner. Make me smile. She go like this, like that, like this. She make it such a dance, never move her feet. Like a funny style. Someone yell like that. Hey, look out, you're breaking your back. When I marry you, make the hooch, make hooch.
Wow, that sure was great, wasn't it, Vappy?
Yeah, it sure was. Benito's a real talented little monkey puppet.
You're just saying that because you're operating him.
Yeah, I kinda am. Unfortunately, I think that's about all the time we have for today.
Yeah, this has been kind of a long episode, huh, Vappy?
Yeah, it has. I'm trying to experiment with a little bit longer of a format, and, as I'm sure everybody has been able to tell, a lot more improvisation, and a lot more talking about my memories and my emotions. Because, I think it's important for people to be able to talk about their emotions, and about how things that have happened to them in the past are still, kind of reflected in how they are today.
Yeah, whatever you just said there.
I hope everybody liked this format. If you didn't, well, I'm probably going to keep doing videos like this, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch them. Or, if you don't like it, you can just skip to the parts with the puppets and watch those.
Hey, Vappy?
Yeah?
Thanks again for drawing Tamako for me and, creating her. She's pretty cool.
I'm glad you like her so much, but it wasn't fully me. Remember, AI is what gave me the inspiration to create her.
Oh yeah, AI's pretty cool.
It sure is. If AI hadn't kinda screwed up trying to replicate you, then Tamako probably wouldn't exist, at least not in the way she does.
I'll be sure to tell her that.
Yeah, you probably should.
Actually, do you think she could come on the show in a future episode?
Of course. I like her, I like all of you guys. Of course, it'll take me some time to draw out all the, assets of her.
Yeah.
But once I do that, she can definitely be on the show.
And do you think sometime you could do an episode that's nothing but the little minstrel puppet? I like the little minstrel puppet.
Maybe. I've kind of been considering that, and it would be really funny, but that's going to have to wait for another day. Anyway, I'd like all of the VAPsketeers to remember, God loves every single one of you. Even, if you're a trans, autistic, schizophrenic lolicon like I am. If God didn't didn't love me, and he wasn't looking out for me, I wouldn't be here right now. It's been just a little bit over a year since I had that health scare. I could have died back then, you know, but God was looking out for me, and I want all of you to remember that he's looking out for you as well. That's our show, folks. I'll see you, hopefully next week.
Bye for now.
And by the way, VAPsketeers, if you liked this video, don't forget to comment on it, down below. And don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. VAP would really appreciate that, I think, and so would all of us. Bye for now!